Hello, welcome to the video notes for lesson 9-1. This is exponential functions day 1. So the learning targets for this lesson are: I can evaluate an exponential function, and I can graph an exponential function. So this lesson is kind of your intro to exponential functions. And it begins on page 1, but we're actually going to skip ahead to page 2 and get started with some examples. So you will need a graphing calculator to help you with this. Complete the following tables and plot the functions on the graph. So I'm going to help you get this set up, and hopefully if you have a graphing calculator you will be able to complete this on your own. The table of functions, I want to first, above the table, show you what you're going to type into your calculator. So you go to the y equals part of it, and you're going to type in 2, and then you're going to look for a little symbol that looks like this. It's kind of like the top of a house. It's called the caret symbol, and then x. And what that means is 2 raised to the x power. And then the values that you're going to use to fill in the table are -2 all the way up to 4. And you're going to do this actually for all of these. You're going to go from -2 up to 4. And yes, I want you to write all the numbers. I know I am not. For the next one, so you're going to basically type in the same thing. After you fill in this table, clear out your y equals and then retype it in. Make sure you hit the negative sign and not the minus sign to caret x. And then for the last one, it'll be y equals 3, then you hit the multiplication symbol, which looks like a little star, to caret x. You're going to fill in these values for y, and then you are going to graph them. Now when you graph them, you need to label them. And I'll show you what it's going to look like in just a moment. So let me scroll down. Now, to help you set up your grid, it's okay. Actually, let me bump this down a little bit. There we go. That's better. So you want the y-axis can be in the middle exactly if you want. It can be a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. But the x-axis, you don't want it to be exactly in the middle. Because this is a 20 by 20 grid, and if you put it exactly in the middle, there's one of these equations up here won't fit so good. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go, I want you to find the middle, which would be 10 spaces down, and then you're going to go 2 more, so that you've got 8 spaces below and 12 spaces above. And you're going to put your x-axis. So when you graph this, one graph is going to look kind of like this. That'll be like the first one. One graph is going to be below, and then another graph is going to be like this. And make sure you label them with the equations. All right? Now, over on page 3, we're going to do the same setup. You need, when you do your grid, let me clear the screen. On page 3, so this time when you type these in, again, you're going to use your y equals function, your graphing function. So 0.5 and then the caret key or symbol, and then x, that's 0.5 raised to the x power. For the next one, y equals, make sure you do a negative and not a minus. You don't need the 0, so if you want to just do 0.5 caret x, that's fine. And then for the last one, y equals 3 times 0.5 to the x power. This time, your tables need to go from -4 all the way up to 2. And do that for all 3 of these. You're going to put your y values, you're going to set up your grid below the exact same way that we did on the other page. Y-axis, put it in the middle. The x-axis, put it about 8 spaces up from the bottom, so you have a little more room to fit more of the graph. It doesn't actually have to be. I think it just helps make it fit more of the points we want to see. Alright, so this video is going to be really short. It's just about done. But all the work is going to be your responsibility. So you need to finish the tables and the graph on page 3. The tables and the graph on page 2. And then I want you to take a look at page 1 and look at these questions. What does an exponential function look like? What would an exponential function look like if it were negative? What would the exponential function look like if it were multiplied by an integer greater than 1? And what would an exponential function look, or would an exponential function look different if it were a fraction less than 1? So you should be able to answer all those questions. I know this is kind of implying to do this before, but I think for some of you this might be very confusing. So after you see the graphs, I think answering these will be a lot easier. And then we can have a pretty productive discussion. We will have a discussion about these answers. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you have any trouble with the graphing, make sure you come and see me or get help from a friend or a parent. Good luck, and we'll see you in math.